Well, we're being joined by our correspondent in Rabat, Onyinyechi Obaroh. Onyinyechi, thank you so much for joining us tonight on Game On. I see that you've been speaking to people right there in Rabat, Nigerians and foreigners alike, and all of them have been complaining about the fact that they can't get to watch the matches. Is it that the tickets are not on sale, or they're not available, or they're only available to Moroccans? What exactly is the issue?
Thank you so much, today. The thing is, I've been able to sample opinions here in Rabat, so they're diverse opinions. For some, they say they've not been able to access the ticket. The tickets are more available to Moroccans because the Moroccan FA made plans for their fans to be able to support the girls, watch the games when they play their home games. But others say that it's available, that they've been able to get free tickets because there's some association of Nigerians in Morocco, and they have been able to rally round and then get tickets for those who are interested. But I think it's just all about communication and having this intention of having more tickets for the Nigerian Association, you know, to be distributed to those who are far and wide. For one of the fans I spoke to, he says he watched the first game on TV. And after watching the first game on TV and seeing how scanty and how empty the stadium was, he had to come all the way from Fez to Rabat in order to support the girls. So this is one person who just found out that, oh, the game is on TV. There is nobody to chant the girls. And he was able to make it all the way from Fez to Rabat. If you live around Morocco, you'll know how a distance that is. A distance, I beg your pardon, that is coming all the way from Fez to Rabat. But I think the whole thing is all about communication on how to get, where to get the tickets in order to attend the matches.
Okay.
But one very salient thing we've also seen in the stadium are the games. We are not having enough fans. We are having just very scanty balls in this competition. But the security has been really, really heightened. And you're beginning to wonder what is the problem? What is the force around the little crowd we're seeing, the little fans we're seeing at the stadium, and a high ratio of security guards, you know, around the stadium? You're wondering what is really the problem, because we're seeing the ratio at 90 to 10. And you're wondering, this is the kind of security that is supposed to be dispersed when you have so much crowd in the stadium. But that has been a little bit of confusion for us. For the fact that I've been sitting around the fans' stand of the stadium. So these fans, when they see this kind of heightened security, they get a bit scared, they get a bit cautious, wondering, what is the force around this? And you see them acting like they're working on eggshells. But this has been my observation since I got into Morocco to watch and then report the Falcons game.
Okay. Well, we'll leave that aside. That's for the Moroccan authorities to sort out. But you will talk about communications. After Nigeria defeated Egypt by 6 goals to 2 yesterday, the president of the Nigerian Football Federation, Alhaji Guzo, was actually communicating Nigeria's, the happiness or joy of Nigerians, that the fact that the Super Falcons managed to qualify for the quarter-final stage. Let's take a listen to the NFF president, who was speaking to the team after that game.
We always have confidence in the girls. We know they will not disappoint us. And by the grace of God, they have taken the day. And we don't have any doubts about what they can do. And at least you saw what they did, and we're happy to see that at least we qualify to the next round, which is the quarterfinal. We have a lot of people that try to support us to ensure that they motivate them with a lot of cash. And then we have time to make sure that we sit down with the guests and talk to them day and night.
Chana Cheru, let me come to you. Nigeria huffed and puffed, but managed to make it to the quarterfinals of this competition. I'm not sure about you, but I've not been impressed with the team so far. And the fact that the NFF president mentioned that they're having a lot of people who are throwing money at this team in order to motivate them. Is this the kind of motivation that should be, applied at this particular point in time? Or the fact that the team should know that there is a FIFA World Cup ticket at stake?
You can't actually give more than your abilities. I've not been impressed myself. First game, second game. But how do you win a game by 6-2? And you're not impressed by the play? We actually won 6-2 against Egypt. So maybe they're just doing the business. Are they playing as well as the Super Falcons we know? I think the answer to that question is no. But they're doing the business right now. Unfortunately, they lost to Malawi, but they won the other 2 games. Let's hope this team improves with games. They surely know that they have a World Cup to play, and they surely know how far they need to go to qualify for the World Cup. So let's hope they do the business and qualify for the World Cup. But about the money issue, we have always thrown money around our teams. The Super Eagles, the under-17s, the club sides, we have always thrown money around our team. So this is not the first time.
Wale, are we being too critical of this team? I mean, like China said, they lost the first game. They won the next 2 games. They qualified for the quarterfinals. Are we being too critical? Are we right to want to demand higher standards from a team that are 10-time African champions?
Yeah, I think sometimes maybe the criticism can be a bit overboard. But, I mean, I've always been consistent in the fact that I think that, you know, we are being cosmetic with some of the success we've achieved recently because I see growth in other places. I see Morocco, and I like what I see in terms of the football, in terms of the progress, right? They got to the final of the WAFCON. We're leading us 2-0 in that final until we turned it around. I think Ghana have an amazing project going on right now, same as Ivory Coast. And you've seen all these countries come to this WAFCON, and they're playing some good stuff. So, I mean, as much as the Falcons have recovered against Egypt, the goals we considered were very questionable. And you ask yourself, when the competition gets a bit difficult, are we not going to be found wanting? So I hope that all of these goals we've scored against Egypt just doesn't paper the cracks. I think there are still issues that we need to sort out in the team. But so far, so good. Sometimes in the tournament, you just need to win your games to be able to achieve your objective. And I think so far, so good. The Falcons are just on course.
Okay, finally, before we let Onyinyechi Obaroh leave, I need to mention the fact that, Onyinyechi, you also spoke to the coach, Justin Madugu, after that game. You listened to his post-match press conference. You also spoke to the team captain. I think you spoke to Monday Gift as well. What did you make of their mentality? Are they fired up now? Or was it relief? Or do they still have a tremendous belief that they can go on to achieve their aims at this tournament?
Of course, they have tremendous belief that they can achieve their aim at this tournament. For the likes of Monday Gift, of course, she has a lot to prove, knowing that she did not make it to the team in the 2024 Women's African Cup of Nations. Speaking to her, I could see that there is a lot on the table for her, being the fact that she was able to put her name in the score sheet and then also provide for the team. She had said it was a disappointing one. She saw all the comments, all the reactions after she was omitted from that squad, and this is her time to be able to put her name, etch her name on the sands of time, and that's the reason why whenever she's given the opportunity to be substituted into a match, she would want to make a mark. Also, Joy Omewa, this is her first Women's African Cup of Nations. She also has a lot to prove to and says that she would want to make it a memorable one, being her first appearance at the WAFCON. For many others who won the 10th African title, they are saying they will take each game at a time. So one game at a time. The captain did say that, did reiterate that. Anozie reiterated that. And also we did speak to Comfort Arabo, who also reiterated that the girls will be taking one game at a time.
Okay. Onyinyechi Obaroh, who is our correspondent live at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Rabat. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Game On. We'll be reaching out to you subsequently as the team prepare for what promises to be a very testing quarterfinal encounter. Speaking about that quarterfinal encounter, the Super Falcons, it is confirmed that they will be facing the Indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon. Now, this is a team that did not qualify for the tournament in the first place. They only got through by the back door after CAF decided to expand the tournament to 16 teams. Yet they have gone beyond their remit. They have been brilliant in their group stage campaign so far. They've won their first 2 games. They're about to win their third because they're currently leading in that match against Cape Verde. And they could be... It's 1-1. Oh, I beg your pardon. It's 1-1. Oh, they canceled the goal. Oh, my director and my producer just told me they canceled the goal. So it is actually still 1-1. But either way, Cameroon are looking good to top their group ahead of the likes of Mali and Ghana. We're being joined all the way from Cameroon by a good friend of the house right now. And he's a Cameroonian journalist who has been following the prospect, the the exploits of the Indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon. Fabrice Dewah joins us tonight from Yaoundé. Fabrice, thank you so much for coming through on Game On. Cameroon have surprised a lot of people here in Nigeria with how they've played so far and how they've gone about this tournament. Are you surprised?
Not at all. I'm not surprised. Thank you, first of all, for having me.
Yes, please.
But I'm not surprised at all. I knew before the start of this tournament that we have one of the best teams on the continent at the moment. It's true that due to other reasons that we don't know, we kind of miss out on the automatic qualification. But I know that we have a very good team. We have good players from across the continent and other parts of the world who can compete with the best in the world. So I'm not surprised that the team was able to qualify for the quarterfinals. First of all, they were the first team. We must reiterate that they were the first team to qualify for the quarterfinals of the competition. So I think it's just about normal that they did go through because they were the best in their group. They played so well. We also against Mali. They did so well against the Ghanaian team, although the Ghanaian team was kind of more smooth in their way of playing, but we managed to get the victory. And today, too, against the Cabo Verdeans, we are not performing so badly.
So next up is Nigeria, and I'm sure that the mention of that name, you know, every Cameroonian is always scared because, I mean, over the years, Nigeria has always had it over the Indomitable Lionesses. Maybe at the men's level, the game changed a bit, but Cameroon...
It didn't change a bit. While they beat us in 3 WAFCON finals, let's be honest.
But Cameroon are one game away from qualifying for the FIFA Women's World Cup in Brazil next year. Nigeria Falcons, Super Falcons stand in the way. What are your chances come that quarterfinal over the weekend?
Well, I think our biggest weapon is that we know that we are not the favorite in this game, and it's a team that has almost nothing to lose. We're, first of all, not supposed to be here. Now we found ourselves in a situation where we are playing the quarterfinals. We are playing the most successful team on the continent. So we don't have anything to lose. The team knows that, and I think that should be the biggest weapon that the team is going to use. And the players, too, are quite aware of that. The coaches are quite aware. They have been saying that all through the start of the tournament. They said that they will be taking each game after the other and all of that. So they have been doing that since the event began. And I think they are looking at themselves. They know that they have to give in their all. And really, believe you me, that the girls believe that they are capable of getting the results because we look at the way Nigeria has been playing in this tournament. They haven't been that convincing. It's not the same Nigeria we saw 2 years ago when they defeated Morocco in the finals, or even the same Nigeria that lost to Morocco in the last semi-finals, I think in 2022. So the girls are quite optimistic that they can get the results, although this is a quite new team for Cameroon. Most of the players are participating in this competition for the first time. In fact, most of them are representing the senior women's national team for the first time. The likes of the midfielder, or rather winger, Naomi Eto'o, the likes of the goalkeeper, Michele Bihina, and all of those other ladies. They're representing this team at this stage for the very first time. But what they have that is their biggest weapon is that they believe in themselves and they know that they are not supposed to be there and the rest of the continent is looking at them. So I think if they make good use of that, they can get to the Super Falcons, which we all know is not going to be easy because Nigeria remains the giants that they always are.
Well, you have just made a lot of Nigerians particularly happy, especially Chana and Cheru, who believes that Nigeria are still giants in football. Fabrice Dewah, thank you so much for joining us tonight on Game On. I want to say I'd like to wish your team very best of luck, but I'll just say may the best team win. We need the best teams to represent Africa at the next year's FIFA Women's World Cup, irrespective of where they're coming from. But Chana, quickly coming to you, Nigeria versus Cameroon. Once again, never an easy task for any Nigerian national team. Do you think the Super Falcons are under pressure, or it's for the Indomitable Lionesses to pretty much play with freedom, knowing that they have nothing to lose and everything to gain? China, that question was for you.
Okay, I think we will be under pressure. Like Fabrice has said, for the Cameroonian girls, they already know they're not favorites to win. So they are trying to take the pressure off themselves by saying, listen, let's take it game as it comes. We win or we don't win, let's just take it game as it comes. But for the Nigerian team, 10-time champion, we are always expected to win the WAFCON when we go there. And we're always expected to qualify for the World Cup when we go there. So there's more pressure on Nigeria. especially more when we lost our first game. So the Cameroonians will have the easier game than us mentally. So that's to say. For the Nigerian team, the pressure is always there whenever they go out to play in Africa.
Okay. Well, Fabrice, thank you again for joining us tonight. We're very grateful for your time. We hope to see you after that quarterfinal game to recap what has happened. But thank you so much for coming through, Fabrice Dewah, a Cameroonian journalist joining us from Yaoundé. Still talking about African football, Uganda's football community is in mourning following the death of national team defender and SC Villa captain David Oworie, who was killed after a violent street attack in Kampala. Police said the 27-year-old was assaulted by suspected robbers outside his home after reportedly resisting an attempt to steal his mobile phone and other belongings. He later died in hospital from his injuries. SC Villa described Oworie as more than a player, while the Federation of Ugandan Football Associations hailed him as a true leader on the pitch and off the pitch. And he's actually the second sports star in Uganda to be killed in recent times. A rugby star was also beaten to death by a mob who thought that he was a thief. That's really sad. But gentlemen, before we go, we cannot also leave without mentioning the fact that Real Madrid have signed RB Leipzig forward Yan Diomande in a deal worth up to £120 million, making him the most expensive African footballer of all time. Diomande has agreed a 7-year deal with the Spanish Giants up until the summer of 2033. The fee surpasses the £72 million that Arsenal paid for Lille for fellow Ivory Coast international Nicolas Pepe in 2019. China, let me come back to you. I asked Wale's thoughts earlier on. Is he worth £120 million?
No, he's not. But that's the market. I mean, the value of a thing is what both the buyer and the seller agree on. So if buyer and seller agreed on that, then we have to deal with it. But we know the market is crazy these days. I don't think he is, but here we are. He has been sold for that amount.
Well, what does this say about African football, Wale? The fact that one player can go for 120 million. Is it a case of the market being overinflated or what?
It's also a case of the talent, the endless talents that we have in Africa. Don't forget, also earlier in the summer, we had our own player join Brighton as well. The young star who came from
Zadok,
Johanna. So it tells you that there's an endless pool of talents from the continent, if well nurtured, can go for big money. Diomande was playing at Leganes just 2 years ago. Spent only one season at Leipzig, scoring 12 goals and 8 assists, plus a World Cup performance. Has seen his value skyrocket to 120 million. In the market where Elliot Anderson is costing 117 million pounds. So you can understand this. So there's a lot of talent in Africa, and I think that Diomande just proves that once again.
I'm not so sure about 120 million pounds, but congratulations to the young man. I'm very happy for him. Have you heard his story about how he said he's playing for his dead sister, who inspired him to become a footballer? That can be really heartwarming. But thank you so much, China Acheru, for coming through tonight, and also to Wale Adigun for joining us. And also, more importantly, thank you, the viewers at home, for joining us tonight on Game On.